Good evening. You are watching the Primetime Bulletin that takes you past the day's showstoppers, the political speedbreakers, and this weekend's impressions from around you and your city as well as your state. Our principal correspondent Peer Muhammad will join us in a bit with the big proposals suggested from Poise Garden to Dr. Manmohan Singh today, and more on today's political slugfest between the two top Dravidian parties here in the state. Also later in the show, I will be in conversation with a renowned psychologist, in fact a counsellor here in Chennai, Ms. Saras Bhaskar, about parenting and what you need to look out for if you are a first-time parent in specific terms. Good evening, I'm Evelyn Matthew and these are the headlines now. Amma seeks Dr. Singh and Sonia Gandhi's explanations on A. Raja's charges in the 2G case. Here, executive says people have a right to know the truth. The AIADMK says its MPs will bring up the issue of atrocities against Lankan Tamils in the Parliament's upcoming monsoon session. As the executive steps up pressure on the centre, a demand for a rollback of the fuel price hike is tabled. Well, some of the national stories also coming your way, but before that, let's take you through the headlines that's been going across the nation and across the world as well. The BJP gets tough with Yediyurappa. He finally releases a press statement saying he will step down as Chief Minister tomorrow. Sources say this comes after Yediyurappa gets his way on deciding his successor, but he will not get the state party chief's post, his other demand. As the government gets set to open financial bids for the two fighters, it's shortlisted an exclusive report on the Eurofighter Typhoon combat jet. And within 2 hours of the US House passing the debt bill, the Senate rejects it. President Obama urges parties to find common ground. Our top story tonight, the Chief Minister met the AIADMK executive and the party's MLAs today and has had quite a few pointers for the centre, especially the Prime Minister. At the party headquarters this evening, some of the points that were raised included urging the Prime Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, as well as Sonia Gandhi, and asking them for their explanation on A. Raja's charges in the 2G scam, saying that the people have a right to know the truth. In addition to this, the body has also reiterated their demand for progress into the Chief Minister's request on fund allocation to the state. Staying with demands, the executive has also asked for the additional power from the central pool to revive the power deficit state. Struggling under the price hike in fuel, a rollback of the hike on diesel, LPG and kerosene have also been requested for. In other state-related matters, the ruling party is also urging the centre to disallow Kerala from constructing a new dam at Mullai Periyar. Now, in light of today's arrests and road rokos that were seen across the state, the Chief Minister has maintained that the state police's stand is what is really going out, and she said that Stalin's arrest today in fact was not so, and that this is not a case of vendetta politics as Stalin's father and the DMK chief has termed it to be.
Land grabbing cases cannot be described as vendetta politics. Complaints of land grabbing were there even during the last 5 years of the former DMK regime. Complaints were given even during the last 5 years by the affected persons, but no action was taken by the former DMK government. After this government assumed charge, people began thronging the police stations.
Meanwhile, Amma has also spoken today on not bringing the Prime Minister under the Lokpal ambit, saying that it would undermine his office. Not just that, she also had a message for Ms. Sonia Gandhi today. Listen in.
The entire nation expects a reply from the Prime Minister and from the Union Home Minister. When such serious charges have been made by the former DMK Minister Raja, involving the Prime Minister himself and the Union Home Minister, the entire nation expects a reply from the Prime Minister and from the Union Home Minister. Moreover, the UPA chairperson and the Congress president also should give a statement on this to the nation. The people of this nation have a right to expect a reply or a clarification when such serious charges are leveled against the head of government.
Now, in addition to this, the AIADMK has decided that its MPs will bring up the issue of atrocities against Lankan Tamils in the upcoming monsoon session that's up at the Parliament.
Our members of Parliament will definitely be raising the issue on the floor of both houses of Parliament with regard to the atrocities committed against Sri Lankan Tamils and the resolutions passed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly to declare those guilty of war crimes as war criminals and to see that they are made to appear before the International Criminal Court for inquiry.
Now, today spelled rough weather for the DMK, even as it was just as overcast for its Chennaiites. But for the party that was in power in Tamil Nadu till this May, top leaders like the party's treasurer, M.K. Stalin, former Higher Education Minister Ponmudi, and even the state's own mayor tried to disrupt proceedings at different parts of the state with the road rokos. In fact, it all started with the Tamil Nadu police's attempt to arrest Kalaivanan, the DMK's Thiruvarur secretary, in connection with the death of a school student in a road accident in Thiruvarur. Kalaivanan was arrested for allegedly stopping children from going to school yesterday. But following this, the party's treasurer Stalin came out in support, and in the drama that followed, Stalin was reportedly detained for a brief moment. But to this, the state police said that neither was he arrested or even detained. In their words, he was merely moved as he was obstructing traffic. Mr. Stalin had reportedly demanded an arrest warrant before the arrest, and it was in fact then that he was taken into detention. Stalin claimed that it was an attempt to scuttle the scheduled protest against the AIADMK government on the 1st of August. Now, following reports of Mr. Stalin's detention, hundreds of DMK cadres have been courting arrest across the state. But earlier in the day, in what unfolded, the arrest of two senior DMK leaders by the Jayalalitha government has also been snowballing into a big political war. Ex-education minister during the DMK regime, Ponmudi, took to the streets along with 300 cadres, and that was at Villipuram against that arrest of Stalin, and even on land grab charges. He was detained but later on released.
பயத்தை உருவாக்கி மக்களை மிரட்டலாம் என்ற உணர்வோடு அவர்கள் செயல்பட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். தமிழகத்து மக்கள் திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகம் சட்ட ரீதியாகவும் அறநெறி போராட்டங்களின் மூலமாகவும் இவைகளை எதிர்கொள்வோம். எங்களுக்கு சிறைவாசம் ஒன்றும் பெரிதல்ல. திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகத்தை பொறுத்தவரையில் இது எப்பொழுதும் யாராலும் அழிக்க முடியாத ஒரு இயக்கம் என்பதை நிரூபிப்பதற்கு ஜெயலலிதா கொடுத்திருக்கிற ஒரு வாய்ப்புதான்.
Well, he wasn't the only one. The city's mayor, M. Subramanian, was also detained in Saidapet today for creating a roadblock, raising support against the Stalin detention, but was later on released as well. Meanwhile, violence also broke out in Salem district on the sidelines of this. DMK supporters took to the streets and buses were damaged by those who are believed to be supporters of Veerapandi Arumugam. Now, in the backdrop of all of this, the DMK chief has called for protests against the Jayalalitha government and the state police on the 1st of August, that's Monday. Karunanidhi added that the DMK would hold peaceful protests condemning false cases against party cadres, and that the arrests today were to scuttle DMK's scheduled protest.
அப்பொழுது திமுக போராட்ட நடத்தவில்லை. எப்படி நடத்தியது என்பதும் காலையில் கைது செய்து மாலையில் அவர்களை விடுவித்ததும் உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தெரியும். இப்பொழுது ஜெயலலிதா ஆட்சியில் அம்மையார் பதிவாங்கும் நடவடிக்கைகளும் அதற்கு மேலும் மேலும் தூவம் போடும் காவல்துறையின் நடவடிக்கைகளும் அத்துமீறி போய்கொண்டிருக்கிறது.
You're watching headlines now on NDTV Hindu. When we come back, if you are a parent, well, we've got some food for thought. That's up in just a minute.